So you're moving to Washington State, or you just want to know a little bit more about Federal Way, this is the video for you. Today we're going to talk about why Federal Way, Washington is one of the best cities to move to in Washington State. Now my name's Alex Bradshaw, I'm a local realtor born and raised in the Federal Way area, and today we're going to cover home prices, amenities, why it's a great place to live, and why it's a great location to put yourself as far as purchasing real estate. Before we start, if you guys have any questions that I haven't answered in this video, please reach out. My number is 253-250-7520, and I'd love to help you guys either move here or move somewhere in Washington State. Now the first thing that's wonderful about living here in Federal Way is that you are positioned right in between the second largest city of Tacoma in Washington State and the largest city, which is up in Seattle. Now you're only about 20 minutes away from Tacoma, and you're roughly 30 to 35 minutes away from Seattle. Why is this important? Well, if you're looking to purchase a home here, the average home price is roughly $530,000. Whereas up in Seattle, the average home price is $770,000. So although you have a 35-minute commute, you're still not too far away, and you're saving yourself like a quarter of what you would have been spending. On top of that, the price of living in Federal Way, Washington is a lot cheaper than living up in Seattle in general. And let's note that Tacoma is a little bit cheaper, but with that comes a little bit of a higher crime rate, whereas Federal Way doesn't have that crime issue as bad. Federal Way also has a great public transportation system with a great bus system here and the light rail being built, which will take you all the way from down in Tacoma up to Linwood when the time comes that it's finished. So even if you worked a job up in Seattle and you didn't want to drive your own car every day, you could just take the light rail up there and still have an affordable place to live. Not only that, but you're still close to the beach, which Redondo Beach is maybe 5 minutes away from the center of the city. And if you wanted to go into the mountains, there's tons of trails in Federal Way. And if you drive an hour and a half east, you'll find even more. Federal Way is a very, very diverse city, with Federal Way High School actually being the third most diverse high school in the entire nation, according to niche.com. Federal Way also has several healthcare clinics, including St. Francis Hospital, and everything that's within the city is only about a 15-minute drive. Let's note this as well. If you're coming here to find work, there's no shortage of it. Whether you want to work up in Seattle, which is 35 minutes away, or down in Tacoma, they are the two largest cities with two of the most job opportunities in the entire state. Something else to note is that you are located at the very bottom of King County, but you're still located in King County. According to foodcritics.com, Federal Way has the second highest ranking when it comes to food choice in the entire state. Whether it's Korean food, Mexican food, American food, we've got everything here. And that's part of why it's amazing here, and it's super diverse. It's cool to hear everyone's stories and to learn from them. When it comes to housing options here in Federal Way, you can find condos for as little as $250,000 to $300,000 and single families as low as $450,000 to $500,000. So it's a somewhat affordable place to live, and on top of that, most places have views of the water. There's a nice little divot where Redondo Beach sits, and you're able to enjoy the Puget Sound. Now something to note is that the crime rate in Federal Way is a little bit higher than it is in other areas, but not as high as down in Tacoma. Most of these are not violent crimes, but they do happen more often here in Federal Way than other places. With that being said, that is everything that I love about living here in Federal Way, Washington. And again, if you plan on moving here, my number is 253-250-7520. I was born here and would love to help you guys out with either answering your questions or helping you guys with your move. Other than that, I hope you guys have a great day, and thank you so much for watching. Take care.